I'm tired of bumping into empty-headed pylons that insist that whenever life decides to kick me in the nuts, that everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Fuck you, because unless you've got a logical purpose for crack babies, serial killers, child porn, 2 girls in 1 cup, keep your pie hole shut. I am of the opinion that religious people should be very careful using words like purpose and reason, since they have abandoned both in favor of imaginary friends and mythology. And if any of that offends you, well, good, because offense is a surefire sign that your critical thinking is intact and operational. Outside smoking one day, sunny afternoon, a manager is telling me about a documentary he had been watching the evening before about concentration camps in Auschwitz. An older woman standing next to us decides to chime into our conversation by offering, well, to each their own. I get my back up immediately. Teach their own what? What specifically? She says, hey, different strokes for different folks. That expression has no merit in a conversation about Nazis. I lose it. You can't condone attempted genocide out of the politically correct, peaceful, ambiguous, no ruffling feathers, timid, spineless bullshit that passes for passivity these days. This it's all good cretinism that allows people to excuse atrocities like fascism has to be met with aggressive hostility. You have to get right in people's face and say to them directly, hey, you stupid bitch. Pushing people in ovens is not doing your own thing, okay? Pushing people in ovens is wrong. And I know there will be brainwashed feminists that will hear this, have the knee-jerk reaction of, well, what makes this woman a bitch? Is she a bitch because she disagrees with you? Is she a bitch because she looks at the world differently than you do? No, she's a stupid bitch because she interrupts 2 people talking about the horrors of the Holocaust to speak with all the depth and consideration of a bumper sticker. Anti-Semitism is not alright, ever. If you are going to chime in on a conversation about the Holocaust with adults, you better present yourself as an adult and take your wishy-washy, meaningless liberal biases and shove them up your ass, because this world was not forged by people who kinda, sorta, maybe one day might form an opinion. Passive resistance is not a stance. It is the lack of a stance. Ask Gandhi. Oh no, wait, you can't, because he was shot to death by his own people. There's a recent rise in people who complain about self-inflicted wounds. You know, people get 2 jobs and then complain about how drained they are. People who drink too much and complain about the hangover. My favorite is people who work out too much and then complain about how sore they are. Let me get this straight. You applied friction, tension, repetition for an extended period of time to specific muscle groups in your body, then lo and behold, that made you tired and sore? How the fuck else did you expect that movie to end, Pinhead? My compassion is in equal proportion to your sophistication of decision-making. On the weekend, I was talking to a defected Chinese communist who is over here in Canada working 3 jobs to save up enough money to send back home, to send more relatives over to Canada. And I got to thinking, how many of my own relatives would I work 3 jobs for and then send the fruits of my labors just to have my family here with me? It'd be a short fucking list. 2 or 3 cousins, maybe. My sisters I would leave in communist China without a doubt. I wouldn't cash in my beer empties to bring them closer to me. They've never pretended to like me, and the feeling's mutual. There is a couple of aunts and uncles I would pay for, you know, but that would probably be it. On top of being Chinese communist, he's also Catholic. Wow, you thought you had inner conflicts. From what I can gather, the real problem of being a Chinese communist Catholic is, an hour later you gotta pray again. They're never full. The other downside of being a Chinese communist is that they're always tired. It's true. They can barely keep their eyes open. I'm noticing a rise in the number of people who use box office returns as a reason for liking a film. Are you gonna go see the new Harry Potter film? No, I'm not gonna go see the new Harry Potter film. I saw the first one, and that's all I needed to see from that franchise. But it brought in over $1 billion in movie tickets and book sales. I'm still not interested. Saw the first film, British kids on brooms, waving magic wands, spitting out Latin. I got no interest in seeing the rest of the series. Just not my cup of tea. Well, it must be enjoyable if it made $1 billion. You must be wrong. I don't care if it took in $1 trillion. I don't care if it took in the Virgin Mary, the 3 wise men, and the Archduke fucking Ferdinand. Accumulating wealth does not make an interesting piece of art. Hey, what do you think of this painting here? I think it sucks. It sold for over $1 million. Oh, it's brilliant. James Cameron produced a film last year called Sanctum. My wife brought her home the other day, and we watched it. Sanctum is about a bunch of rich jerk-offs who go spelunking, which always sounds dirty. No matter how you say it, or in whatever context, spelunking sounds like something a crack whore does for an extra $10. Handjob's 20, blowjob 30. For $40, she'll spelunk you. In the film Sanctum, a bunch of rich jerk-offs go cave diving. I assume they're rich because they rent helicopters and parachutes and they jump into holes in the ground. I can't think of anybody who works for a living who would be able to afford any of this bullshit. While going down further in the hole, there's a storm, and then there's a mild flood, and then these rich fucks start killing each other, and I'm totally fine with it. Nothing puts a smile on my face quicker than hearing about wealthy thrill seekers meeting their maker. I'm glad that some parachutes have faulty release mechanisms. I giggle with glee when high-test fuel interjector systems burst into flames and race car audiences are scarred in the process. Good. You want danger? Use an ATM in Etobicoke after 2 a.m. Stroll through Scarborough like ever. Go to a Heritage Front meeting, quoting your favorite Chris Rock stand-up comedy bits. Oh wait, they disbanded in 2005. Hooray! Another successful movie I didn't get was Transformers. Like, I wasn't enjoying the film, but up until that part when the Autobots are hiding from the kids' parents behind the houses, then I started to hate the fucking movie. I loved the cartoon as a kid, but that movie was such a waste of time. After I saw the Transformers movie, I forgot shit like geography. And G.I. Joe movie, it was terrible. It was like watching the Team America, but without the jokes.